Today's episode's all about how do you support your team, how do you motivate your team, and me sharing what I've learned over the years from some amazing mentors that I've had. Let's get into it.
This isn't just any podcast. This is your secret weapon for dominating the market.
This is the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast, and this is your host, Sean McMean.
Welcome to Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast. This is episode 34, and today we're going to talk about unleashing the full potential of your team, nurturing them, and motivating them. I'm going to share my journey along the way of owning a business for over 8 years now, and being a manager in the corporate world and all of those things, but also working with some amazing mentors over the years that have helped me level up the game. Now, here's what I'm going to start by saying is I am not perfect. I have many faults, and one of them is remembering things, and so I struggle with it. And so that could be a struggle for you when it's, overcoming, like motivating the team and doing those little things that make a big impact. It's not that you don't want to. It's not that you, that it's in your nature not to do that, but it's just you've got so many things on your plate as a small business owner that it slips. It's just one of those things that slips. What I've learned from my mentors over the years and coaches is that these sort of moments where you can choose to motivate and nurture people don't happen by chance. And that if you treat it as, it's just a thing that I don't need to do, or I can't get to because I'm doing other things, it has a big impact. It has a big impact. And I'm not talking about, hey, get a trophy because you're trophy generation or anything like that. I'm talking about the reality of the fact that people like to be motivated by you either communicating with them or understanding them as an individual, or, just creating a positive work environment. And so the little gestures along the way, and not necessarily big kumbaya moments or whatever you want to call it, is what helps you have a positive, nurturing, and motivating team that can help you get things done. As a small business owner myself, I know that I can't do everything. Like, there's just no time, and especially as you continue to grow from a company, it is very difficult to let go some things, but you have to be able to have a team behind you to help support you. And as you're a home service contractor, and going from, the situation where maybe you were doing all the work, but now you're hiring people or struggling to hire people, struggling to motivate the team, maybe you'll take some insights into what I'm about to talk on this episode. So, really it all starts with the number one thing is understanding the individual. Everybody is a unique person, right? And different things motivate different people. And you can't just go up to them and say, hey, what makes you different or whatever. But in a way you can. You could definitely say, having those connection moments in that conversation, the personalized conversation with that person or that team member will make a difference, whether it's on a one-on-one session or whether it's just, driving to the job or whatever it is. You have to take the personal time out to understand the individual on your team, because everybody is human. And, some people have team members that are pets though too. I get it. But most of your team is human and they have human emotions, right? And you have to understand them to be able to motivate them and support them in their role. And the second component of this is really about communication. Communication is the key. I don't know how many times I've heard that before. It's probably somebody's tattooed it on themselves. I don't even know why I just said that, but I'm sure somebody has done it. Communication is the key to move things forward, right? And fostering not only communication, but not one-sided communication, but open communication between your teammates and your leadership team and all of those things. Open communication is the key, not one person dictating. I have a bad tendency to just take charge, and it's just in my nature. I've always been sort of a leader. I consider myself a leader, and when I say you're a leader, that doesn't mean you need to bulldoze the situation. And that's literally what I call myself out on it sometimes, is I like to bulldoze or take charge. And being a leader is also listening. And the thing with communication is about regular check-ins and regular feedback sessions. I just had a feedback session with one of my team members today, 30-minute session where we caught up how things going in life and personal side. But I'm this is one of my weaknesses as far as like the scheduled touch points and things like that. And so it's been a couple of weeks since we had connected. Sure, we talk all the time about different things related to the company or just small talk, right? But regular check-ins are a key component to open up that communication so that you can address any concerns or acknowledge accomplishments and those types of things. We have one of these things on our thing. We have shout outs on our leadership call. And then if those shout outs belong to somebody that's outside of that leadership call, they get shouted out to the entire company, right? And it's not, again, about the trophy generation type thing. It's people like acknowledgement. People like, if they're busting their butts, and they like to be acknowledged, right? And so it doesn't necessarily have to be buying them a car or like even money related. It's just a shout out, So that's one of the things on communication. You also want to make sure you're creating a positive work environment, building a culture of respect and appreciation. Now, this is something that, again, you can chalk it up to, oh yeah, positive environment, ooh, big deal. Like, it truly, culture of a company has a big impact on whether your team is motivated and supported. And you have to build that atmosphere of respect and appreciation, and it starts with you as the leader, as the business owner, and encourage a work-life balance. Encourage some flexibility in work arrangements and stuff like that. It's not always possible sometimes, and sometimes it's difficult when you're getting 24/7 calls. But at the end of the day, you have to have a positive work environment for your team to thrive. And if it's constantly like you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, like on the flip side, they're not going to stay with you, right? There's a reason why maybe they're doing things wrong, because they weren't properly trained, or they don't understand the big picture of what they're doing. But sometimes they're just not in the wrong seat. It happens, right? So creating a positive work environment is extremely important. The other part of this is about growth and development opportunities. So providing some sort of learning path or development opportunities or career advancement within your company is extremely important. Like, where do you go from here? It's difficult when you're a small company because people are wearing multiple hats and everything. But whether you're a home service company or any sort of type of company out there, right? So creating a path to development, especially if that person wants to take on more responsibilities and grow, right? If they're happy with what they're doing and they do an amazing job, then that's the reality of it, right? That's having that individual conversation with them. Another, kind of similar related thing is like in setting up incentives and recognition. Again, I've said it 2 times or 3 times before. It's not about being trophy generation or anything like that. It's about developing a recognition system and some sort of incentive to motivate people, whether it's monetary or non-monetary. Giving those kudos, giving those shout outs, putting a gift card on somebody's, handing somebody a gift card for no reason other than the fact that they crushed it on that last job or whatever. Those things make an impact. They truly do. And then also you want to make sure you're doing team building activities, right? That foster the camaraderie of the company, right? And so celebrating milestones, successes together, and also challenges, overcoming those challenges together as a company, whether it's individual challenges or whether it's a company challenge. That's something that helps you get through the difficult times. I remember back in COVID, I got COVID myself, was super, super sick for weeks, and my team stepped up and like crushed it for the company when I was basically in the hospital and couldn't breathe. And so if you can create a culture of team building, incentivize them, give them a positive work environment, they're going to help you overcome those challenges that you're going to face as a business owner. And, and at the end of the day, if you can overcome those challenges together, there's less responsibility on your shoulders then. You're not carrying 2 elephants on your back, right? So also make sure you're supporting people in their life. Like, everybody has a home life, right? And, one of the things that is super difficult is when somebody passes, or somebody has a baby, or when, a relative, passed away or something like that. Like, be flexible on those things. And it might sound like common sense, but sometimes it's difficult as a small business to say, like, hey, I have to work through this. You got to work through it, right? At the end of the day, you're nurturing them and helping them through a difficult part, and they're going to be grateful for that part afterwards. And they don't have to be grateful, but they got to understand that you're a human being and a positive person and a positive influence in their life, right? And they're more likely to stay around and help you grow versus collecting a paycheck, So like I said, I am nowhere near perfect, but I've been lucky enough to work with several mentors over the years. One of the best mentors I have, Josh Nelson, he's one of my business coaches, and Ben McAdam. Both of them, Ben is mainly on the finance side of things. Both of them are extremely thoughtful when it comes to thinking of the little things that have a big impact. So, for instance, Josh, he will send when somebody has a child, or somebody has a death in the family, or you have a huge win, you're going to get something in the mail from that guy. And it's going to be totally expected. You're not going to even know it's coming. It just comes. It just shows up. And I'm not saying that you do that every single time, but those small gestures make a big impact. And I just suggest that you remember people's birthdays, remember when they started working in your company, and find some way to incentivize. And it doesn't have to be money-based. It can be just a simple conversation. So, again, I am not perfect by any means. I am a work in progress, just like we all are. But these sort of things will help you, help you as a small business owner nurture and motivate your team and support them, and really unleash the full potential. So that's all I got for this episode. Until next time, this is Sean McMean with Restoration Marketing Secrets. I will talk to you soon.
You've been listening to the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast. Sean's not here to just talk the talk. He's walked the walk. With a track record of helping over 70 damage restoration companies and engaging in over 500 conversations with industry owners, he's seen it all. From digital marketing triumphs to the most ingenious growth hacks, he's got the keys to the kingdom, and he's sharing them with you. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, for more, hit the website at restorationmarketing.com. See you next time on the Restoration Marketing Secrets Podcast.